Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I have a very exciting video for you this week. As most of you will know, last month I completed the KonMari Method. You will know because I have been shouting from the rooftops about it. But I wanted to put together a kind of a roundup video for you that answers all of your questions about the KonMari Method. So things like, did it work? Have I kept it up? And what changes it has made in my life, both good and bad, how I manage living with somebody who is not on board with the method at all, what I've learned from it, and what I would do differently if I were to do it again, which I do actually plan on doing it again, so what I will be doing differently next time. And the big one, do I regret anything that I got rid of during the method? In light of everything I've learned, I do plan on redoing the method very soon to see how much more I can get rid of and how different it will be the second time round. So subscribe to the channel if you're interested in that. This is going to be a pretty long video. I have lots of thoughts and ideas. I've received lots of questions about this, so stick with me. Let's get to it. Question 1. Did it work? Yes and no, I would have to say. It did work in the sense that I did declutter a massive amount of stuff. I mean like 50 to 75% of my stuff. So I got rid of a lot. But is my house now immaculately clean? No. One, because I have a husband and a toddler, neither of whom are on board with the method, but also because it doesn't really take into account the inherent laziness that is human nature. I wouldn't consider myself a particularly lazy person, but I don't always put things back where they're supposed to go. Even if they have a home that they go to, even if it is easily accessible, I just don't do it. Great example of this. I have a holder on my chest of drawers for my comb and my hairbrush. But yet every time I brush my hair or comb my hair, I leave them on the bed. Now the bed is here and the chest of drawers is here. They are right beside each other. I still leave them on the bed. It's not that it's not easy to put them back. It's not that the place that they go is inaccessible or hard to get to or far away. It's right there. I still don't put them back. I will say though that I have gotten much better at putting things back. It is a lot easier to put things back now, so I'm more inclined to do it. But that doesn't mean that I always do. Did it work? Yes and no. Question 2, have I kept it up? Again, this is a bit of a yes and a no. No in the sense that, as I've already mentioned, I don't always put things back. But yes in the sense that I have gotten better at it and I am much more ruthless now with my stuff. If I spot something that doesn't spark joy anymore, it goes straight in the bin or straight into a box to be donated. Ruthless. My husband finds it endlessly amusing that if I find something that I don't like, I just go over and throw it straight into the bin. But yeah, I rarely hesitate now before just getting rid of something. It has really caused a change in my mindset now. If I see something doesn't spark joy, it's out of here. Question 3, what changes has it made in my life? Great fucking big ones, to be honest. There are some good changes and some bad changes. So I'll go through the good ones first. First one is that even though my house is not now immaculately clean, it is a damn sight cleaner than it was. It is easier to clean things now. I don't have to move things to clean other things. Everything is easily accessible. I'm not working around things. But it doesn't make me more inclined to, for example, clean the floor. It doesn't make me more inclined to clean something. But the fact that there is less stuff that I have to move off the floor in order to clean it, and the fact that the mop and the sweeping brush and all that are very easily accessible, does make it that much easier when I do decide that I'm going to do it. So less things to clean, not as many piles around the place that are going to fall over and destroy the place. Yeah, place is cleaner. It's It's also much easier to find things. So less stuff means fewer hiding places. And the fact that I have relatively recently gone through all of my stuff and put it away means that I can generally remember where I've put everything. So yeah, easier to find things now. Not always, but most things are easier to find. One other good change is that it drastically reduces your desire to shop. I am no longer bringing home impulse purchases, and the purchases that I do make, I'm not regretting them. I couldn't say with certainty that it has actually reduced the amount of money that I'm spending, because I find now that I'm much more willing to kind of splurge and splash out on items that I really do love. So this whole process has taught me to really embrace things that I love, things that enrich my life, and I'm much more likely now to spend money on those things. So I'm thinking more in terms of how they will enrich my life, how they will improve my life, rather than how much money I'm spending on them. So I don't feel as guilty spending a little bit more money on things. So it has really changed my relationship with things. I'm now thinking kind of long and hard before I buy things, because I want to be sure that the item I'm buying is going to bring me joy and is going to improve my life in some way and is going to make me happy. No more crap for me. And now on to the downsides, the bad changes in my life. And the first one is, it drastically reduces your desire to shop. Yeah, that is a pro and a con. For me, shopping used to be a hobby, and I know it's a hobby for a lot of other people too. Sometimes it's nice, particularly as a stay-at-home parent, to just be able to go out to the shops and wander around, browse a few things, maybe just do a bit of window shopping, maybe bring home a little frivolous purchase. It's nice to do that. Now, I was not a big shopper by any means, and I certainly didn't splurge. I mean, I didn't spend huge amounts of money on things unless I was on holidays. And we all know that spending on holidays just doesn't count at all. But I used to enjoy it every now and again, and I feel like the fun has been taken out of it now, because if I do go shopping, I'm always second guessing myself, or there's a big long thought process that goes into things, and it just kind of takes away that little spark. I've also found that I am much more overwhelmed now by clutter. So we've just gotten over Christmas, and I found Christmas very difficult this year. Normally I absolutely love Christmas. I love putting up the decorations. I love making the house look all festive. But this year it just caused a massive amount of anxiety and stress for me. Honestly, I was generally pretty unhappy all through the festive period. Really, like for the first time ever in my life, I could not wait to get rid of the decorations and to reclaim my lovely uncluttered space. I guess I've always felt overwhelmed by clutter. I mean, having a cluttered house is not something I enjoy. I don't think it's something that a lot of people enjoy. But it was probably more of a subconscious thing, whereas doing the KonMari Method has really made me a lot more conscious of it. I feel a lot more stressed now when I'm faced with clutter. Maybe it's a good thing that I'm more mindful of it now and I'm kind of dealing with it, but it doesn't really feel like it at the time. And speaking of extra clutter, question 4, how do you manage when you live with somebody who is not on board with the method? Honestly, it's very difficult. It is very hard. I find it extremely taxing. I'm not sure how completely you can finish the method, or if you can really reap the full benefits of the method if you live with somebody who's not into it. There's only so much stuff you can declutter when you live with somebody. They will always have their clutter. It will always annoy and frustrate you. It will always be an eyesore. It will always cause you stress and anxiety. I don't know what to tell you. It is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I find it hard. But I never forced my husband to get rid of anything, and you'll know that if you watched some of my videos. Some of the things that he wanted to hang on to, I mean, to me, they are ridiculous. but I never forced him. I did sometimes try to reason with him or explain why I didn't think we needed it anymore, but I never pushed him to get rid of anything. I think if I had forced him to do something, or if I had kind of done it behind his back, his tendency to hoard things would have heightened to like crazy levels, and we'd just be in a much worse situation right now. So I think all you can do really is just to be patient and to realize that not everyone is on the same journey that you are, and that's okay. Maybe they will never want to follow that journey, or maybe they're just not ready right now. But all you can do is be patient and be understanding, and to try to lead by example. You know, explain all the positives to them, explain the benefits, explain your reasoning behind it, and maybe they will kind of, maybe if they don't necessarily want to do it themselves, they will at least understand why you're doing it, so they may be a little bit more inclined to help out with it, or at least to kind of keep their clutter to a minimum, or just to kind of support you in whatever way they can. But you just have to be as patient and understanding as you can, and that, for me, that is not easy. It's not easy at all. And a few people have asked me if there's any point in even bothering if they live with somebody who is not into the method at all. And the answer is yes, of course there is. I've already highlighted some benefits to it, and I will highlight some more as the video goes on, but I would definitely still recommend that it still is worth doing. It's still worth focusing on your stuff and decluttering a lot of it. And as I said, the other person that you're living with may kind of start to get into the method too once they see all the benefits that you are reaping from it, or at the very least, hopefully they will be supportive of your journey. Long story short, patience of a saint, people. Patience of a saint. Question 5. What have I learned? I have learned that we have way more stuff than we think we do. I mean, way more, like a shit ton more. I would consider myself a pretty organized person, and I used to do fairly regular clear outs of my stuff, particularly my clothes, and I'd actually done a big clear out a few weeks before I started the KonMari Method, so I didn't really think that I would get rid of that much stuff. Oh, how wrong I was. When I look back at all of the stuff that I decluttered during this method, I'm talking like bags and bags of stuff, like several carloads of stuff. Like, where did it all go? My house right now after the method is by no means empty. It is still full of stuff, and a lot of stuff, albeit stuff that I love, but it's still a lot of stuff. I'm certainly not deprived. So all of that stuff that I had before, where the fuck did I put it all? The mind boggles. It also makes you realize that the things that you think are important really aren't that important at all. Some of the categories that I was dreading most turned out to be the easiest. So for example, stationery. I'm a huge stationery nerd. I love stationery. So when I came to do stationery, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be so difficult. I'm not going to be able to get rid of anything. This is going to be horrendous. But when I actually went through it, stickers, gone. Washi tape, gone. Scrapbooking supplies, gone. Like, the only thing I really held on to was notebooks and pens, because obviously I need those. They are essential to my being. But living without stuff is so much easier than you think. I mean, I got rid of stuff and then realized that getting rid of it had absolutely no negative impact on my life whatsoever. Like, most of the stuff, I don't even notice that it's gone. And I think that the more you live without, the more you realize you can live without stuff. So now I'm thinking, like, how much more stuff could I get rid of without even really noticing it was gone? And that leads me to question 6. Did I regret anything that I threw away? Honestly, no. Not a single thing. There were few and far between, but there were occasions where I went to get something and realized that I didn't have it. Know what I did? Shrugged and moved on. There has honestly been nothing that I thought I really shouldn't have gotten rid of that. Nothing. So question 7, what would I do differently, or what am I going to do differently, because I am going to do it again? Honestly, I thought the category thing was great, but realistically there are a lot of things in the home that cannot be easily categorized or easily pigeonholed into things. So once you get to kimono, it becomes very, very difficult, very, very overwhelming, and there's lots of random stuff around your house. It's just very difficult to categorize, other than just random shit, of course. And one thing I found is that a lot of the categories actually took up a large part of a room. So for example, clothes took up most of the bedroom, toiletries took up most of the bathroom, books and stationery took up most of the office, and toys took up most of the living room. So if you only go by category, I think it's very difficult to see a visual difference when you walk into a room. There are so many small little things that are part of kimono that it's very difficult to feel that you're making progress, particularly when things that you've decluttered end up probably in a drawer or behind a closet door, so you don't really see them. You can't really get a sense of how much stuff is left in your house, whereas you do get that with a room. So if, for example, you have 10 rooms in your home, and just assuming they're all pretty much the same size and have pretty much the same amount of things with them, if you're doing a room and you finish off a room, you know that you are about 10% of the way through your journey. But if you just do a category, like how far are you? Like how much stuff do you still have to get rid of? How much further is there to go? You can't really picture that in the same sense. Now, I'm not by any means dissing categories. I think categories are great, and as she says in the book, the reason for the categories is so that you gather everything together in one place and you see how much stuff you have of that one particular thing, and you can also very easily spot duplicates and stuff. So it is very eye-opening. But for me, when I redo the method, and I did start to do this a little bit towards the end of the method when I did it the first time, I think I am going to do a category and then finish up the rest of the room that that category is in. So for example, when I redo my clothing, I'm going to finish off the rest of the stuff in the bedroom, because after clothes, after the clothing category, which includes jewelry and shoes and bags and all of that stuff, there really isn't that much left in the room. But by doing both the category and the room, I will feel that I have accomplished a lot more. I will have a much more visual representation of success and achievement. It's just a much better visual representation of progress. The only other thing I think I would do differently is to have a holding area for stuff that I'm decluttering. So a designated space for all of the things that I want to get out of the house. And then I'm going to get rid of it as soon as possible before moving on to the next category, because I really did find when I did it the first time that, for example, when I decluttered my clothes, I would, move them into a different room, the ones that I was getting rid of. So I'd move them into, for example, the office. Then they would sit in the office, and then I would go to do a category in the office, and I would move them into my daughter's room. So that I had no one place for things to go, and because of that, really all I was doing was moving the decluttered stuff around the house. So, and that just completely defeats the idea of the method. So I think going forward, I'm going to have a designated space where things I'm decluttering, they will go in that space, and then once I'm finished the category, they are out of here. That is something I have stressed a lot throughout my videos, just getting rid of stuff very quickly. So I would suggest having a bag or a box for rubbish, and then a bag or a box for stuff to be donated. And once you're finished the category, dump the stuff that's supposed to be dumped, and either immediately bring the other stuff to the charity shop or leave it in your designated spot so that you can grab it at the next available opportunity and get it out of the house before you move on to the next category. So just some final kind of wrap-up thoughts on the whole method. I know she says in the book that it is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, that you tidy once and then that's done. To me, that doesn't sound very realistic. I think that things change, your lifestyle can change, your hobbies and interests can change over time. And I know those are kind of small things and don't necessarily mean that you're going to like overhaul your entire life, but there are major life events that might prompt you to do that. So maybe you're emigrating or moving somewhere very far away. Maybe you're starting a family. Maybe you're moving in with someone, or some other kind of significant life event like a serious illness or the loss of a loved one. I think there are situations whereby you might be faced with the reality of reevaluating your entire life. And I think in those sorts of situations, you might want to redo it. So when she says it's a once in a lifetime thing, I mean, yes, possibly, but not necessarily. Maybe it won't be as tough the second time around. Obviously it won't be as new the second time around because you'll have been there, done that, and you've learned things from it. So maybe it's once in a lifetime in the sense that you only do it the first time once. But I can foresee lots of instances where you'd be starting a brand new chapter in your life and would want to restart the method from scratch. Also, this book is like a shrink. Honestly, it should be in the psychology section. It will help you to overcome like separation anxiety. It will help you deal with all the kind of guilt and stress that you feel over letting things go. It will help you to embrace change, to turn over a new decluttered leaf, to let go of emotional baggage, all of that stuff. It will really open your eyes to a whole new way of living and really change the relationship that you have with your stuff. It will just have you thinking about things completely differently, basically. I mean, sure, you can still lie on the couch while you're reading it, but it is going to cost you a damn sight less than a psychotherapist. So do I think it's worth doing? Absolutely. Hopefully that has been pretty clear throughout this video. I know I have covered some downsides, but there are huge benefits to this method. There is a total shift in your perception, in your relationship to things, in how you interact with things. You'll feel much more grateful for what you have. I would definitely still recommend it. It's a pretty bold statement to make in the title of your book that it is life-changing, but my experience has been that it actually is life-changing, and I don't normally buy into bullshit like that, but I am sold. I mean, this definitely 100%. I am a KonMari convert. I am drinking the Kondo Kool-Aid, folks. So in short, if you have not read this book, you should. I will put links to it on Amazon in the description box below, but really just buy it. It's relatively inexpensive or free if you like pick it up from the library or borrow it from a friend, and it's a pretty quick read, so you have no reason not to. And that is everything. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It took me a long time to kind of formulate all my thoughts on it, go through all the questions I'd received, so I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you have a question that I haven't covered, please leave it in the comments below and I will answer it if I can. And if you want to check out all my KonMari videos, I will link to the playlist in the description box below. As I said, I do plan on redoing the method in the first half of this year, so if you want to catch that, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm really interested to see how it goes second time round and what changes I make and, you know, just how different it will be and if I've learned anything at all from the first time round. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking with it until the end. Any questions or comments at all, leave them below and I will get back to you if I can. But I will be back next week with another video for you, or in the meantime you can check out my vlogs, which I have been doing not daily but a few times a week. So check out the channel if you want to see those, and I will see you soon. Bye!